Hey everyone, Ivy Lee Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. This is my second video for today after my quite long, in-depth beginner's guide, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. I did add in some chapters in the description, but for this video, we're responding to a developer note, and with that in mind, this is going to be a podcast-style video. Just listen to the audio and chill. Speaking of the audio, it is messed up. I have gone ahead and muted the right ear, so if you don't hear anything out of one speaker, that's why. It is all coming from the left side because there's been some strange things happening. Alright, this video is both negative and positive, honestly more negative than I expected, and you will see that I give a brutally honest opinion, and let me know what you guys think as well, but let's get into it. I'm going to roll in with just some gameplay in the background while I read through this information. I figure it's just best that I read through, keep it simple, nothing fancy, and let's not get too distracted, so let's get to it. It's a bit of a long post, but I figure, hey, this is like podcast style. You can watch the battles and check out the game, see what my people are doing, or you can just sit here, relax, and listen. Fellow travelers, greetings. It's been a real honor to witness your first week of journeying through Adenthia. Our dev team has been busy all the while getting our teeth into the game, watching the heated discussions on Discord, and fixing reported bugs. Still, all this bustle generated great delight because travelers numbering beyond all expectations participated in closed beta test 2, hereafter referred to as CBT2. Your enthusiastic testing has helped us immensely in locating multiple inconspicuous bugs. Your likes and praise have fueled us with courage. Your criticisms and suggestions have inspired us to consider exacting details. Your discussions brimming with kindness and the friendly atmosphere have made Dragonheir community even more unique. On such a momentous occasion, the dev team would like to share with you some inspiring player feedback, our recent reflections, and future plans for Dragonheir. About font size and colorblind mode. Through questionnaire surveys, we have received a number of suggestions from players of greater age, such as subtitles are too small, illegible text and UI, to name a few, which we believe are significant facets of player experience. This is our sincerest wish that players of all ages enjoy Dragonheir. Thus, we are now designing a UI customization function in order to enhance the gaming experience for players with visual impairments. We estimated this function will be available in the open beta, hereafter referred to as open beta. We also realized that the colors of aggro lines are indiscernible for some colorblind players. There are now considering adjusting colors, as well as planning the development of colorblind mode. Frankly speaking, this may take some time, but our dev team has already pinned it in our agenda. About restriction on journey level. This is a big one, guys. As expected, restrictions on journey levels have been met with some disapproval. Through several rounds of in-depth discussions with the dev team, and in view of the season mechanisms and other features centered on RPG sandbox gameplay, we eventually decided to adopt this design. Dragonheir is a game measured by seasons. We hope that in one season, players will commence their journeys in approximately the same time, completing and cooperating at similar paces. If no restrictions were placed on journey level, with enough time elapsed, early starters would quickly pull far away from the later starters. From another aspect, Dragonheir is a game featuring a combination of hero development and RPG-style adventuring. We want players to alternate their gameplay experience between the main story and hero development, instead of just going through all the RPG elements and completing the main story within the first few days, then soloing, farming dungeons, and upgrading heroes for the rest of the season. Such a split would essentially divide the game into two separate parts, ruining the sense of gameplay cohesion. In all honesty, SGRA is still a studio in its youth. Although we have so far done our utmost in completed development of 4 in-game regions, the Chaos Universum, the Forest, the Plains, and the 4th region to be launched in global launch. The quantity of in-game text in totals 1 million words, not to mention our aspiration to support 8 to 10 languages in the near future. This is a huge challenge for us to develop the RPG mechanics and main story content at a rapid tempo. Therefore, we would rather release playable content more steadily. Alright, so we should pause and talk about this one because this is a big topic. Some people are severely against the idea of time-gated gameplay. But they are sticking to their guns, and that's what they want the game to be. And honestly, I respect that. I feel like it's really good that they address this because it's been such a hot topic. Just because some community, honestly, it's probably a small percentage of the community, the ones that are the most vocal because they are the most active though, that actually want to grind a game 12 hours a day. That's not realistic for most people. It's just not. Yes, as a content creator, it's super fun to day one of a game grind for 8 to 12 hours and try to get as much done as possible and see how far we get. But that's not reality for 95% of the people that are going to play a game, especially one that's also included as a mobile game. So, and honestly, when it comes to the journey level for me, the more I play, the more I like the time gating. There are times where I wish I could play at my own pace, as in, I mean, to be fair, we can. This is the reality. We are putting it on ourselves that we are stuck or that you can't play at your own pace, but yes, we can. One day, log in, do your commissions only, and then you know what? Don't touch the story. Go ahead, re-gear your heroes, roll up gear, go farm some potions to specifically try out a new character. Focus something different than the main story. You don't have to focus the main story every single day. And the more I think about it, and especially after reading this, I honestly, totally, completely understand. And the game does have my support in this, although I do understand, and I hope they understand, it is going to turn off some players. It's definitely going to still turn off some players because some people want that game that's on their screen 24/7. They want to be able to competitively grind as crazy as possible to see what happens and to just be the best and at the top of all the leaderboards. But you can still do that. There's definitely ways to still do that. This game is just going to encourage you to do so in a manner that's not time gated, or that's not time, I guess, dependent. Just because you have more time than someone else to grind doesn't mean that's the only way for you to get to number one. Like it does, they want to make things a little bit more fair for players that can only play at a more logical pace. You know, we're not all professional gamers and content creators. We can't all have our games going constantly, or we're not all stay-at-home people that can literally play games all day long. That's just not realistic. And it makes it more fair and exciting if a player knows they can come into the game and not feel like they're incredibly far behind. Or maybe you're busy for 2 days because life, you know? Life happens. Or you go on vacation and then you come back and you grind like crazy to catch up, but the grind doesn't take you forever. You don't feel like you're immensely behind in your progression compared to everyone else because everyone else got stuck at a certain journey level anyway, so it only takes you a bit of time to catch up and you feel like, okay, you're back on pace. So I really understand and think that's the intent here. And the more I play, the more I like it. Good or bad for the game, it actually makes me happy. Okay, let's say, okay, you play Raid Shadow Legends, but maybe you don't want to quit Raid, but you like this look of this game too. You can easily play Raid and this game. This game is not the kind of game that's going to make you be a slave to the game, right? That's, I think, what they're going for. They're not going for, you have to obsessively grind our game nonstop, and whoever grinds the most and spends 12 hours a day in our game is going to be the most rewarded. They're not necessarily going for that, which I think is fair and okay. And I mean, I actually like it. This allows me to consider playing the game even more, because that means if I want to check out other games that are out, I can. I don't feel stressed about it. And that doesn't mean I have to quit this game to play another game that I like. I can still play this game because it's an easy game to play on the side at times. And then when you pop into a new content area, sometimes you have 5 hours of gameplay. Like, I swear, it's not like it's gated every day where you have nothing to do for only 5 minutes and you're done. That's not the case. But if you want to spend 5 minutes, go take 5 minutes, do your daily commissions, and close the game. And you can be okay with that. And then another day you can come in, okay, honestly, 5 minutes, do your commissions, 5 minutes, use your stamina and your arena battles, and then close the game. That's completely okay. But, okay, we unlocked this whole other area. It's been full of side quests, full of adventuring, so much to explore. And this was hours, and I'm not even done. Hours of playing, and I'm not even done. So I think there's plenty of content in the game to keep us busy. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it's good to have a pause to force us to be like, all right, you know what? Now I'm going to rebuild my characters. Now I'm going to gear cleanse. Now I'm going to explore some cooking and try to do some recipes. It's good to mix it up and explore. Or speaking of exploring, oh my goodness, it's been forever since I've been to this area. Maybe there are some NPCs over here that I can find and fight. Let's go try to find some people to fight and do some battles, or hey, let's just gather some resources. Like, this is just a kind of style of gameplay where it's going to be more beneficial for us to focus on different things daily and not just, yeah, I really like it. I like the idea of not just focusing the fastest story grind that's humanly possible for some players, because that's what we can't help ourselves. We want to grind, sure. But then what? Then if you rush to the end game as fast as possible, then you're just sitting there doing the boring grind daily, and that's super boring, right? Who wants to really do that? If we wanted to do that, we would still play those games that we all curse, the games that annoy us, the games that we hate the progression on. So that's what this is trying to do, and I honestly, I support it, and I understand it, and even if it's not your style, I hope you guys can understand where they're coming from with that idea now. With this explanation a little bit better, I really think it makes sense, it's logical overall, and yeah, I'm loving the pace of play personally. I feel like it's just right. And what? Worst case scenario, oh my gosh, that part of the story only took me half an hour today. Okay, good, close the game, do something else. Play another game if that means that. Make another account, one where you challenge yourself to only use rares, or epics and rares, or don't pull your heliolite die until the final week of the season, or say, oh, even more, for season 1, only summon Starlight die, and then on season 2, pop all those heliolite die that are sitting there waiting for you, you know? Stuff like that. Although I don't know if the die reset. I can't remember if the die reset. But the heroes don't. Either way. Anyway, sorry for a tangent there. I just thought it was really important to kind of share some opinion, discussion on that topic. It is a very big topic. And the more I think about it, like I said, the more I like it. And I hope you guys will see that side as well. Alright, let's go ahead in here. We're going to continue some gameplay in the background. And we're going to continue our conversation. There's more to be had here. Alright, about free gifts, summoning, and legendary heroes. Another hot topic for sure. Dragonheir is distinct from other games in which only epic and legendary heroes matter. It is a multivariant RPG strategy, elemental coordination, and hero composition. Every single hero, even the common ones, have value, rather than simply being tossed out for material or looking for decoration. Or decorative, or looking decorative, sorry. Naturally, we aim to give players free reign to try many hero combos, and using as many rares and epic heroes as possible in the first few seasons. This will in turn inspire us to discover more heroes and team compositions with exciting potential, helping us to offer better builds for the open beta players. We understand that it is no mean feat to form a solid strategy for hero development and composition with a lack of guides and tutorials. Nevertheless, Season 0 heroes in CBT2 will be carried over to Season 1. As stated in the previous letter from the devs, staying highly active and involved by completing a full season check-in will grant you 4 to 5 legendary heroes, which will greatly boost your early game in the next season. Currently, we have no plan to increase the amount of obtainable Heliolite die. In order to guarantee free-to-play players acquire plenty of epic heroes, we provide each player with hundreds of Starlight die from various sources each season. If we increase the probability of summoning legendary heroes, this may lead to third parties creating new accounts for a chance to obtain legendary heroes in an early stage. The existence of such accounts will doubtlessly lead to a devaluing of paying accounts and critically harm the development of Dragonheir. That Dragonheir is still in the test phase is inarguable. We place huge importance on and deliberate over many problems you encounter in the game. Opinion and suggestions posted in our communities will be consistent focus. We also aim to devise better plans to optimize the experience of gifts, summoning, and so forth. So, TLDR, they're not gonna increase or change the rates for Heliolite die or Starlight die, but they do consider our feedback and there is potential for changes in the future, I suppose. But that's not the plan right now, at least. But I don't know. I personally really strongly think we should have like a 0.5% chance to summon a legendary from a Starlight die. You can't avoid the reality that people are probably going to try to sell accounts and do that illegal activity stuff in any gacha game. If you're going to make a gacha game, just accept that as a possibility. Don't try to pretend like it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. You can't avoid it as a company, as a game, and you're actually just holding back your community's excitement, and you're turning off players by not allowing us to have the fun and excitement of summoning a lot of legendaries early on or giving us free legendaries early on. Let us have that excitement. I really think they're still shooting themselves in the foot by sticking to this, or the way that they took away what we had pre-CBT beta, the ability to get at least one free legendary early on for the first week of gameplay. It should be no problem at all. I just really think it helps player retention and excitement. Just one. I'm not saying like give us 20 legendaries. I'm saying we should have a way to get one free legendary in some sort of guaranteed manner, whether that be a I don't know, just a login champion, or just a lower rate, like within your first 5 Heliolite die, you get a legendary, and then the rates go up to normal. A lot of games I played did that, and that felt very rewarding. I don't want to have to say a game feels pay to win, and if they keep the rates the same, it is unfortunately the truth. No matter what, even if rares and epics are good, and I defend that highly as well, they are, and I want to personally keep playing with epics and rares myself, and less focus around legendaries, and encouraging everyone to do the same. At the end of the day, the beginning new player experience, people want gold and shiny, and if you don't give that to them and they have to spend crazy amounts for that, the game is pay to win. So it is what it is, and I am torn on the topic overall. Alright, we have some other replies and development preview. Please enable 4K resolution. I didn't even think of that, honestly. Alright, great idea. The dev team has already been preparing the necessary tech and resources to support 4K resolution on PC. We believe we'll be able to offer optimized graphics on Windows and Mac devices during open beta. About Simultaneous Arena. Oh, they mean the Champion Arena, which is supposed to be a live PvP mode. We know that it's unrealistic for some players to join us in Simultaneous Arena due to time zone issues. The opening times of Simultaneous Arena will be soon adjusted from 24 hours to 12 hours to ensure accessibility for most time zones. Since we currently have a rather small number of players for testing, we can only guarantee matches with balanced opponents during specific periods of time. As the number of players increase, we'll be considering adding more of these periods. Alright, I really think they mean the real-time arena, I think. what they would call live PvP, and I first have to say, what the game has now is not live PvP. It is absolutely not live PvP. There is nothing live about it, except for setting your team just like you would the normal, boring, classic arena mode. They absolutely need to change this. That's going to be my harsh feedback. Absolutely change it, or people will be highly disappointed. I was highly disappointed in this feature, regardless of the fact they only had one time frame. Now, they're doing the time frames wrong still. They're still too long. Like they say, it's hard to make sure players are actually going to be active and ready to play the live arena mode when it's actually active. And their time periods are long. They don't need 4 hours. It's better to do like every 6 hours, have a 2-hour time frame. That way people are planning around their schedules to know, I have to go in during this very specific time or I lose out. That encourages more activity. Also, live arena is not setting it. You set up people, they set people, and it plays on auto. That is not live arena. Live arena is making live decisions. That's the whole point of live arena, and the game does not allow us to do that. They needed to change this feature or they're going to get a ton of complaints, especially at open release of this game. It is a terrible game mode that I plan to skip now, and I don't want that. I'm losing out on rewards, but there's literally no point. It's not fun. It's not exciting to just pick my normal team that I would pick for Classic Arena, and that's it. There needs to be alternate our picks, have a ban, and then you have to substitute a character for that ban. That kind of system is in every other live arena game that I've seen and played personally, which has only been a few, but their systems were much better. Also, we need to make manual decisions of who to attack, when to use our ultimates, all that stuff, not full auto for live arena. It literally defeats the purpose of the word live. So that is absolutely an area of the game that needs to change. Alright, about skill scrolls. All skill scrolls will be saved for next season in recognition with your effort and accumulations. Yeah, we did know that already. They are just clarifying, I guess. Honestly, I think the skill scrolls are fine. Like, I've only played for a week and I could book 1 epic and 1 rare already. That's fine. That's not unrealistic, and I'm sure I see lots of skill scrolls in some of the other upcoming rewards for stuff, so I think that's okay. I don't think you're expected to come into a game and be able to instantly book every hero we get, so I think their pace for skill scrolls is honestly fine. Plus, if you can resist the urge to use your Wormaro, your gems, for summoning, you can buy legendary books. How many people playing Raid Shadow Legends, raise your hand, wish you could buy legendary books with gems? That's not a thing. It would be amazing if it was a thing. So I don't think people value that enough. We get plenty of Wormaro through progressing and being active in the game. You absolutely can easily book legendary heroes. You just have to choose how to spend that resource. Alright, hero reset. We hope our players will be able to decide on development strategies and aims within 72 hours of familiarization with the heroes they have obtained, a source of fun during the season. However, regret will occasionally be the theme, but will also serve as the driving motivation for farming next season. It is worth mentioning that battles with elemental restrictions in place will be accessible for 2 weeks after the season begins. Not a single hero you develop will go wasted. I definitely don't like that they're sticking to their guns with Hero Reset. In open beta, whatever they want to call it, global, it should absolutely be a solid week. Otherwise, they're kind of going against their own principles of... They're going against their very own principles of wanting things to feel fair and not only rewarding the players that can grind 24 hours a day. If they don't increase Hero Reset time period, there's just not enough time for a player that can only play 1, 2, 3 hours a day to be able to, number 1, acquire new heroes within 3 days, and number 2, test and decide on their team synergies to see who they actually want to stick with. There's just not enough time, and I really wish we had more time. I was grinding like a crazy person and I still felt like there wasn't enough time. It's too restrictive and it only rewards those who played 12 hours on the first day, which again goes against their principles. So I hope that someone's listening to that idea as well, that they're actually that Not increasing the hero reset for the first week of gameplay, especially during a damn beta, is extremely hypocritical of their own principles. So, not a fan of that statement either, guys. So as you can see here, just to be honest, like, I love this game and I love this company, but not everything they're doing is perfect, and I'm going to be honest with my opinions for both the good and the bad. So I hope you appreciate my honesty if you're still listening here. Alright, about stamina. Since the stamina sources will be reset at the beginning of the season, we do not want our players to spend too much time farming dungeons. As a result, Dragonheir's recoverable daily stamina will be relatively low when compared to some other games. As various features and modes are unlocked and seasons progress, more stamina will become available through activities. Yeah, I do see the bread loaves, I guess, or baskets available in some upcoming stuff. I honestly, I think the stamina's okay. Personally, I'm very slow progressing because I need to grind out dungeons, but there's also a time gate there. And I mean, for myself, I can only take so much time to grind dungeons anyway compared to progressing the story. So personally, I've never really felt like, oh my god, I need so much stamina, I have nothing to do where I need stamina to grind. I've just, you know, put the game away and came back tomorrow and worked on it more. But the stamina refresh could be a little bit faster. We don't necessarily need more stamina given to us, but a cap on the stamina that's at least like 200, maybe 300 would be nice instead of only 120. 120 is honestly one of the lowest I've seen. They're completely lying there. 120 stamina as the cap is one of the lowest I've seen in all of the gacha games I've played. So again, they're a little bit wrong there, and I hope they'll consider changing that in the future. Alright, server and season. About the server and season. We cannot promise all players will be able to create their characters on the same day. The season mechanic nonetheless requires players to start competing at the same time. Thus, we need to open new server at certain points since the ranking rewards and seasonal points of a season are strictly limited. If the server is infinitely accessible to too many players online, it will result in the resources obtained by each player being reduced. At the same time, we're not able to set the difficulty of season bosses based on server population, otherwise the entire season's design will become far more complex. However, as mentioned previously, we will try our best to mitigate the sense of distance between servers through various means, such as adding friends in-game, simultaneous arena, and the Alliance War. We kindly ask for you register your accounts at the same time if you want to build an alliance and play with your friends. Alright, well this is kind of what I expected. I didn't think they would change the server setup. The only thing is I hope that alliances could still eventually become cross-server. I guess it will in a sense because eventually they're going to have to start merging servers, so we're going to end up in servers with our friends as time goes on. But it still sucks when you're like, I started 2 days different than another person. Or as a content creator, I tell everyone to join and they want to play with me and my guild, but I'm like, you can't! It does really suck, and it is very off-putting for some people, so I don't know that there's a perfect answer for that. Now, when it comes to seasons overall, I don't like what I saw about the new servers, but I hope it's only because it's beta. But I saw with one of my friends making an account that the server was longer. Like, the season was longer. Meaning, like, their season was ending a few days after mine because they started a few days after me. So wait, we're all gonna end at different times? Honestly, this is something that I could see pulling me out of this game interest-wise, especially considering content creation if we don't end seasons at the same time, or at least within a couple-week period. I think they said there's gonna be like a 12 to 14-week period of every server resetting, but as long as at the end of the day, Season 2 should start for literally everyone possible at the same day. I don't want to be like, oh, these people who started whatever are still on Season 1, meanwhile I am making videos about Season 2. That's not going to be relatable, and as a content creator, it's extremely frustrating. So Global comes out, and, you know, time progresses, and all of a sudden, if everyone is just on different seasons, I would not continue playing after season 1. I'm just gonna be honest. I am not gonna play a game where I have to make, like, honestly, that was the one biggest flaw of Everlegion. Like, I would make content on, or I wanted to make content on some things, but I realized it wasn't logical, because I'd be like, oh, I had this new event. Season 2 just started for me. This is exciting. Season 2 just started for me, but people have already done that. They don't care. Or if I just got new players into the game, they're still only on season 1. They don't care. As a content creator, making content on season-based stuff, if the seasons don't all start and end at the same approximate times, is impossible and not something I will plan to do. So I am being straight up here. I will not continue to play this game if the seasons are like that. If it's after season 1, like I said, after season 1, it's a hot mess of everyone just being on completely different seasons. You know, I've played for a year. I'm on season 6. You just started. You're only on season 1. No, thank you. I'm out. That is not the kind of game I have any interest in playing. And again, even more so as a content creator. So I'm a little bit bummed by some of these responses or lack of clarification so far. Some of it I stand by. Some of it I'm a little bit worried. Either way, I'm still playing now. I'm still very excited for current play, and I'm still very excited for global, but I can't see this game being extremely long-term if the seasons are a hot mess. Alright, about optimization and hero descriptions. Since multiple factors have an impact on the damage calculation, the damage ratio will sometimes mislead the direction of team builds. We do not expect players to spend a lot of time checking the ratio and damage value, hence we decided not to display values in the game. What do they mean? I mean, they do display the damage in the game. Oh, they mean the damage multipliers. Got it. Yeah, no game ever displays that. Everyone just ends up data mining, and websites come out with that information because people are going to do that one way or another. That's just the reality. But no game ever shows that. That's expected. Okay. About walkthroughs and official support. We have already heard appeals from players in our communities for sources of guides and walkthroughs, and we truly appreciate many of our content creators and walkthrough authors who have been contributing to Dragonheir's walkthrough site. We are now working on the development of Game Data API in hopes of providing content creators with support, allowing them to guide new players through obstacles in the early stages of their gaming experience. Alright, once again, we are much obliged to all of you. All Dragonheir is still in CBT2, and SGRA is still a young but dynamic studio. Your continuous support and patience are hugely appreciated by us. We truly hope that together our players and dev team can make Dragonheir an unsurpassable and entirely unique RPG strategy game. Alright. I think, yeah, at the end of the day, it is a unique game, and I love it because it's a combination of every game I play. I don't want it to be exactly Raid Shadow Legends or exactly Eternal Evolution, but it has aspects of all of the things I play, and that's why I like it. But there's definitely some work that still needs to be done, or some things that they're going to just realize they're gonna get pushback on if they don't decide to change, or at least, I don't know, we're gonna have to find ways to better explain some of them, but I don't want to have to be overly defensive of the game I'm playing. It should just be, this game's amazing and everyone's just talking about how amazing it is. It shouldn't be, oh, this game is terribly pay to win and I have to keep saying why it's fair. Like, I hate that. So hopefully something can change in the realm of summoning and excitement there, but I am going to be on their side of pushing the rares and epics being used because they're so much fun. And I really do look forward to testing out more builds. I am going to do some hero guides. Like, I plan to put out a guide on some of the heroes I'm actively using, because why the hell not? We're going to talk about them deeper, talk about future gear sets for them, artifacts, all of the stuff, and have a little bit of fun. So, alright guys, thank you for listening to this long video. It was a little bit of a podcast style video, so appreciate the feedback. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It's always good, and hopefully the dev team reads our comments and can accept the good and the bad that we have to say, as they keep trying their best to do. And I appreciate their communication, and I appreciate their openness to discuss all of this. And it's also good that they have a backbone and let their game be what they want it to be at the same time. So love from all ends, but that's been all for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.